You know,
Hey, welcome to Two Wheeling. I'm John,
wait.
and here at Two Wheeling, we're all about motorcycles and the motorcycle industry. Wayne, today's topic.
I tell you what, smaller. We're going to talk about smaller displacement.
Smaller displacement motorcycles and why you love them.
Well, here we go. This is the opposite of bigger displacement, right? And you think, well, that's my favorite. And yeah, that is my favorite. But there's going to be some times wherever I'm going. Good example, I went downtown from the airport, right? So, if you're going downtown and the traffic's going to be pretty busy, and it was fireworks night too, So, you're going to anticipate a lot of volume, right? So you want to take the big bike? No, I would take the smaller bike, right? Maybe a 650, or maybe in the 400 range. There's lots of good 400s, But, even the 650, you got the XR, you got the DR, you got the KLR. Those are just great, smaller, taller, lighter, nimble, go over obstacles, go whatever, and smaller bikes. Those, but some people would look at them and think they're big bikes. They're so tall.
Right.
So if the bike is really tall, it doesn't matter that the engine's small, because it's not. It's not a smaller motorcycle. It's a smaller in displacements, but it's not a smaller motorcycle, because when you stack it up to something else, it's as tall. It's a big bike.
Yep.
So now we got to go smaller motorcycles, stuff like 300s, like the Versys, CRF Honda, right?
Yeah.
And there's some choices there. Kawasaki with the KLX 300, and then the DR. You might as well throw the DR 400 that way too.
Sure.
Is because when you take the two DRs, the 3 and the 4, and you put the CRF in there, and then something like a Versys in there, and then the BMW 310 in there, and you start mixing it all up in there, you say, okay, what are you going to come out with, right? It's a smaller bike. And those smaller bikes, they're surprising. Like, you think that, you're going to get on it and you're just going to be, unhappy. No, you're not. I mean, there's a lot of guys, like, for instance, the KTM 310 and the Versys. They've gone on some serious rides with those.
Sure. Yeah.
And a lot of the fellas have said, hey, don't underestimate these. If you need to get there, they'll get there, right? And they're so light. And you give up. You obviously give up in a few situations, but there you go, smaller bikes. And sometimes,
so
if you're
quick, agile, fun to ride.
Where am I going? Right? It's like you take the car, you take the SUV. People now have vehicle choices in their driveway. Come on. How many families got maybe 3 choices of vehicle to take depending on where they're going to go?
Right.
And the motorcycles, it's almost the same thing. If you can afford to have 2 or 3 bikes, and a lot of riders have multiple bikes for that reason, right? You have 2, so you have a choice of whether you're on sport touring or mountain climbing. You can go adventure riding. There's so many things you can do just based on those 2 motorcycles.
Sure.
Right? And why? Well, you got the heavier bike, get the lighter bike. And so yeah.
Do you love small displacement motorbikes?
You know what I really like? I really like that feeling of being so light. And I need some real spirit in the bike. If it's dead, if it's a dud, all it does is drown, and it just picks up. If the bike's got some spirit, may not be a lot of power, but if it's just got a little spirit in it, like be able to play with it.
So a good power to weight ratio, light bike.
Yeah, and of course the old 2-strokes, so much fun.
Yeah. You can't never go wrong with
it. Yeah.
In the dirt.
Yeah, if you're 250 2-stroke. Come on, if you're even the big boys, we start talking about KXs and YZs up there in the 400 plus CC range. Okay. That's a different level, right? That's the hot body right there. I tell you. Give me one of those. Forget about every conversation we've had up until now. Give me the KX 500.
There we go.
Yeah.
Anyone that has a KX 500 out there for sale, we have a buyer.
Smaller motorcycles. Sure.
Thanks for tuning in. We're Two Wheeling, and if you'd like to help us out and provide more context,
subscribe, like, hit it.
Bye for now.
right? That's the hot body right there. I tell you. Give me one of those.